Here we have full packaging and full sets. You can use that to spike bags and nothing else. Next we have half sets. Half sets you can use to attach to an already existing line, or you can use it to attach to a syringe. Another good use for a half set is if your full set cassette breaks or jams, you can actually just put a half set on the bottom of the full set, thus you don't waste any of the medication inside that line.
Alright, so here is the pump standard screen display. You have the on button. All the lights will flash and come on. You see it pops up in general purpose 2. It should be in general purpose 2 because you should be able to deliver 1/10 of an ml. If we select the channel, you can see that under 100 that we are able to deliver 0.0. So general purpose, you can always hit the standard display screen, get to the home. You can always see that it should be general purpose 2. If we click on it, you can see that. If we hit more options, if it's not in general purpose 2, and then go to device, you can select several different categories, or to the standard display and select your channel. You can see that we still have a 1/10 of an ml. We need to have it in 1/10 of an ml. So we have our on-off key. Our standard display takes us home. More options gets you to several different options that generally you never ever have to mess with. If you hit it multiple times, you get different ones. You don't really need any of those. Here is your start and stop button, obviously. And then channel A, select channel A, B to B, C to C. If we go in, your select button is kind of your arrow key and it runs only up and down. Here we can input. You can go up individually, or you'll notice that the fast key is there and you can jump fast. Well, I wanted 225. Now I hit the down key. Oh, I went past it. Notice it's fast down now, so you can jump down fast. Up, fast up. 225. Now I could go individually down, or I could hold it. And after it weighs, it jumps by 10. So you get to 225, it'll jump here and go fast. And then I hit enter. If you don't input something in, it will alarm at you. And that is telling you that something needs to be selected. Volume remaining, VR, is how much is left in the bag. So we're choosing that we have a 250 ml bag, and enter, confirming it. And then the volume infused is what you've already infused. You'll want to hit the clear button to clear that out, so that you can see now our primary rate is 225 mLs per hour. Our volume remaining is 250, and the volume that we've already infused is none. If we were setting up a calculated drip, such as a nitro drip, we would go to more options while in a channel, and then you can see calc on. Calc on switches it to the drug mode, and we can choose no drug. This is whatever drug we want it to be. We just hit select and move over. If we go down, you can see that there are a bunch of meds already put into place, like amiodarone. And likewise, there's fast down. So we'll go to nitro. There's norepi, there's nitroglycerin. With the preset ones, you'll notice that kilograms disappeared. Why? Because nitro is typically given in mics per minute. And so our concentration is how much is in the bottle. For us on the rig, it is 25 milligrams. And there you can see it double selected, it never moved over. I hit it once, but it jumped twice. And then it is in a 250 ml bottle. Now your dose, we want to start at 5 mics per minute. And notice that it automatically calculates the rate. If I increase the rate, it increases the dose. So our concentration is 225 milligrams in 250 mLs. The dose is 5 mics per minute, and the rate is 3 mLs per hour. Our volume remaining in the bottle is 250 mLs. Our volume that we have already infused is 0. And our dose infused, we've infused 0.0 milligrams of nitroglycerin. And then you can obviously clear these out. So if we go up to norepinephrine, same thing, concentration, we're going to put 4 milligrams into a 250 milliliter bag, and our dose, we're going to start at 10 mics per minute. Depending on the patient, I've started at 5, I've started at 7.5. And once again, it automatically calculates our rate. So if we increase the rate, the dose increases. Volume remaining in the bag. And then we have our volume that we've already infused and the dose that we've already infused. When you don't have a choice in here and the med's not in there, we can go up to drug. Now this is generic. If it's not a weight-based drug, I don't have to put in a weight base. So I can just skip it. The concentration, let's just say you had 10 milligrams and 100 mLs, and you wanted to do not kilograms, you'd select over to the kilograms and then change it. And now you just have mics per minute. And so if we would go up and change it, it automatically selects our rate. If it was a weight-based, you'd go to the dash, and then you can get it back. So here we have 10 milligrams and 100 mLs, and now we chose weight-based, and so obviously we have to put in a weight. When you put in the weight and the rest of it, it automatically calculates your rate, just like it did for the other ones. you can see which channel you're in right now because it'll be highlighted. So if I hit the start button, it's going to be in the highlighted one. I can hit the start and stop from the home screen. We can see the status of infusing or stopped on the top. So if I wanted to start or stop this one, it's highlighted, I can do that, but I can't on the home screen. I would have to go in and select channel A and then hit start, and it'll tell me on top infusing or stopped. Once it runs out and you're done with your infusion, it will say KVO and beep at you. And KVO for this is set up to 3 mLs per hour. So essentially stopped. Turn it off, you just hold the on off button.
When you go to spike a Alaris full set, the most important thing is to have the drip chamber upside down. And to lock it, you have to pull out the flat white face. It has to be locked also to insert it. And you're going to want to invert that upside down. On the bottom is a little bulb to pump the air out. Close the roller clamp. When you spike the bag and then fill the drip chamber at an angle. This way it prevents bubbles from getting in there. And fill the drip chamber about 9/10 full, most of the way full. That way it's harder for air bubbles to get in there. If it's running really fast, you'll end up with air bubbles. So now that we have the drip chamber full, then what we can do is take our tubing, invert the drip chamber upside down, and that way then we can open up your roller, and that way it'll go at a slower rate. You can massage all the bubbles out of the bottom of it. Like I said, you hold it upside down and then open the roller clamp, open the lock on the chamber itself. There's the wrong way to do it. You're going to get air bubbles in there versus holding it upside down. There's that little ball that I talked about that you can massage. So upside down, open it, open the chamber, the dial flow to about halfway. That way you can see it going through and you can watch it with your eyes. And as the liquid goes through, then you can massage that ball. You can flick the drip chamber, the air trapping chamber. And that way you will not have bubbles in the cassette, nor in the line. Things like central lines, it matters greatly if there's even a small amount of air, versus peripheral, it's not as big of a deal. But flick, massage, usually about halfway through the process, I have to open up the roller clamp a bit more. And that way you get all of the air bubbles out. And it will not beep at you.
So sometimes it is easier to use a syringe and a half set. And it's a little bit trickier because once again, you have to have it upside down to fill it. And so I'll just attach our syringe, and you have to have it upside down, and you're the one feeding this. And so you're going to want to slowly push while massaging. Now you have to pull it back out before we can insert it. So select your channel, Usually that would go right there. There's a little pocket to put them in on the pouches. And everything is set, so we can just hit start. There we have an alarm. Hit the quiet button first. Cassette jammed, cleared channel obstruction, or replace damaged cassette, and press start to resume. And so a lot of times when you get this, you'll let it cancel. And what I will do is take it out and then examine it, make sure I don't see any damages. And here you see that this used one that I've been using is a little bit crooked and bent. A lot of times you can turn it, snug it. Now that all looks straight and flushed, whereas before it was bent. So we'll give it one more try. If you're at the home screen and you're selected and it's dark, you can just start it from outside. Now that we have our tubing set up, we come, hit the on button. We can see that is in general purpose 2. And then we can set. So we're going to do 100 mLs per hour. We have a 500 milliliter bag. And our volume that we've already infused is 0. So we are set. We take the drip chamber upside down with it out and gently insert. Now once we get to this point, we have to pull down, pop it in, and you heard the 3 beeps. You're going to want to hear that. Check air sensor, verified tubing collar is seated properly below cassette. Clear any air in line manually or by clear air key, which is a 0.2 ml pulse. So let's try cleaning the air. And that looked like it did it. So now we can go to start. And so I'll hit start. There we can see we have our green light. Everything is good. It's infusing. It says infusing primary. And it's going into the patient.
So you were going along normal and then this happened.
So here we can see that both the green, I'll let it quiet first. Here we can see both the green and red, and so that would indicate that it's still going, but it needs to be addressed. So channel A. Keep vein open, and keep vein open, you'll notice, is 3 mLs per hour. So it still is infusing, just at a very slow rate. So we can press A to repeat for previous settings, or to set new values, then press start. We are infusing into the patient. Everything is going along.
now we have an error. The light indicates that we have an error. First thing you always do is hit the quiet button. That way it silences it from beeping at you. Then you press the channel, you can see alarm. And so we will press that channel. Always read all of the directions. Patient site occluded, clear occlusion between channel and patient IV site. Press start to resume or cancel to clear alarm. So I go and I look, and lo and behold, the patient kinked their arm off. Now I cleared the alarm, and you can also start it from the home screen. You just have to be highlighted. And now we are once again infusing. First we hit the quiet button. I come over. Clear occlusion between channel and container. Check vents. And so if it was a glass bottle, we would have to make sure that we have the vent open. That way air can go into the glass bottle as fluid comes out of the bottle. So we check, make sure everything is clear. And then we press start. And now we are infusing.
So here we have the pump, which is sitting on the pole where it normally rests. You can see the two grooves on the bottom of the charging cable, and find the two grooves. And there's that red dot that sometimes is lined up and sometimes is not. This one happens to be on the bottom instead of the top where they typically are. And if we open the little latch, you can see the cable symbol that will turn green. So we're going to open this up and we can see the green, or we can see the two grooves on the inside. A lot easier to do with your eyes than a camera. This one actually has a red dot on the bottom on the inside of there, I see. So this one, I guess, is technically labeled correctly. Once you look at it and find your grooves on both the female end and the male end, then it's just a matter of putting it slightly in, twisting it so you can feel it's in the grooves, and then it'll slide in nice and easy. If it does not slide in nice and easy, look at the grooves on both ends, and then you can find it. So I found my grooves, I'm going to slightly stick it in, twist it back and forth gently. Then once I feel the grooves, then I can insert it in, and the little green light comes on saying that it is indeed charging.
When unplugging the IV pump, you simply push in slightly on the cord, pull the chamber, that'll slide back, and then you can pull it out together, and it should easily come off of the charging cable. A couple other things to remember is typically it's a red case or blue case. The case should be on the pump at all times. The charging cord, be very careful with them. They're expensive and they break easy. So be gentle with your equipment.